Hey, everybody. It's a new year, and you know what that means. Yes, that's right. It's time for Sarcastic Distractions, the interesting podcast for interesting people. Featuring, as always, the Gentleman Society of Podcasting. Myself, Harvey. My heterosexual life mate, David.
And hello.
And the ever-loving, ever-listening, AJ.
I can.
That's how good he can listen. He can...
Can the listeners hear you?
No.
Yes.
Happy New Year, everybody. And today we are doing what all good podcasts do. And we're talking about other podcasts.
I'm talking about podcasts.
Yeah.
It's a podcast about podcasts.
Yeah.
We're casting about pods.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of our favorite podcasts, and our friends at Leighton Legends asked us to review a couple of their episodes, which we all did, and we will discuss those in great detail. Sorry, I was trying to
I'm going to say great detail. Like what level of...
Well, I was trying to channel their energy when they're
times
breaking
when
the
I wish there was a
character.
video.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so let's start with some of our favorite podcasts. That's not our own. Sarcastic Distractions. What kind of shows are you guys into? Because let's be honest, podcasts are pretty much like, I mean, they're our generation's entertainment nowadays. No one's really.
No, I think there are multiple generations.
Yeah, for sure.
Different variations.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It's like listening to like NPR.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the old school days with the radio,
Or
and at
or
10
CBC
p.m.
One.
you always
Right.
listen to FM 96, 10 p.m. to hear the disc jockey dude at that time.
The M980s and things.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Which, you know, anybody outside of Ontario won't know what that is.
No,
but that's
but-
okay. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
People get it. So anyways, podcasts. What are you listening to, guys?
Well, nothing right now.
Well,
I'm listening to you
Sorry.
talk. I'm listening
You're
to our
listening-
podcast in real time.
a little sarcastic distractions, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
I like funny podcasts.
Gotten any and
I get into it. I'm more into like people having conversations,
okay.
right? That kind of podcast. So I listen to. Well, let me bring up my Spotify. I listen to lots.
Yeah. Wait. Before we go into this, while AJ's looking that up real quickly,
Mhm.
do we all listen to Joe Rogan?
No.
Okay, then I guess I could say Joe Rogan is one of mine.
I do.
I
have.
I would say I listen to it quite frequently. That's why.
No, for me personally, I'm more on the like I prefer, I guess, podcasts that you can easily just kind of listen. They're either short, so like I listen to Marketplace constantly.
Oh yeah, Marketplace is great.
I have a thing that I love to hear about the economy, blah blah blah. But if I miss one, hey, it's not the end of the world because they're 30-minute every day. Great.
Yep.
You know, and then of course for the other ones, they're usually that I listen to, they're every week something new's coming out, and I can just whenever I want. And it's usually, I do have one exception, like wait, don't tell me. Love that one.
Oh yeah.
And it's one that I enjoy. Usually it's a Sunday, I have to admit, and it's just they talk about things, but I can leave the room, come back. I might have missed stuff, but it don't fucking matter.
Right.
I've never really been able to do the story ones, I have to admit, personally.
Yeah. My wife's into the like spooky story ones.
Yeah,
and
my
shit.
wife
those
as
horror
well.
ones.
Yep.
Yeah, I listen to ones like The Office Ladies.
Oh yeah.
with, Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher.
That's fun. I've
And
listened to that one.
They break down episodes of The Office, every
yeah.
week.
Hmm.
They talk about like behind the scenes and what was going on, and sometimes they'll talk about stuff that didn't get filmed that might have been in the script.
Yep.
Or they'll play like a deleted scene.
Nice.
I think that's fun.
Right.
Or Howie Mandel Does Stuff is a good one.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's a good one. I've actually watched a few of those recently.
Yeah, you can see him on the YouTubes as well.
Yeah, watch. Yeah,
but,
listen to them. Yeah,
you know, it's just
he's very entertaining.
yeah. David Spade and Dana Carvey.
Oh yeah. Fly on a Wall. That's a fun one.
One of my favorite ones is the Mythical Kitchen podcast. Hot Dog is a Sandwich.
Yeah,
I've heard a couple of those.
I've heard a couple of them too.
I like them.
They're very interesting. Yeah, I would. No offense to Rhett and Link, but I would probably listen to that over Ear Biscuits.
Yeah.
Not that Ear Biscuits is bad. It's like you kind of get your fill with GMM. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of, yeah. I could listen to Ear Biscuits if it was shorter.
Yeah, not like 3 hours.
Yeah.
For sure. Which makes you wonder, is like, what do they do? Do they do GMM, then they do the after show, and then do they
I don't know.
go and just fucking record for 3 hours? It's crazy.
Probably.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, stuff like that. Armchair Expert.
Oh, yeah.
With Dax
Good one.
Shepard. Yeah.
I don't think a single
kinda
one of
shit.
yours are any of my favorite. I'm not knocking them. And again, I guess it's just, my style. Like for me, it's more, LeVar Burton. I love the story ones. Selected shorts. Again, you can read from the title, shorts.
Mhm.
So even though the podcast might be an hour,
Yeah.
each of the stories is shorter in nature. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe I just can't keep myself content that long.
Yeah,
American Life. I love that one.
That's a great podcast. I
Yeah.
love that podcast a lot, actually.
Yeah, I like people talking about stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And just having conversations.
For sure.
And then you kind of have that internal conversation.
Mhm.
You almost kind of like get in on the conversation in your head.
Yeah. Like you're like basically talking. to
Yeah.
them. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, so
That's a good feeling.
I'll pop an earphone in at work and putter around and listen to. That's why I don't mind the longer ones.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean,
fair enough.
I've got an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of long form podcasts, which I mentioned. Joe Rogan's. I love listening to his.
Mhm.
Not every episode, but a lot
No,
of them.
if I'm interested, like
Yeah.
usually ones with like Neil deGrasse Tyson are
Sure.
always,
Those are always fun.
always a good one.
Yep. The Jordan Peterson ones, I think are interesting. He's done a bunch that are great.
He's done tons
He
that are great.
he hits more than he misses in my opinion in terms of his guest selections and whatever.
Nice.
But they are long, I don't think there's one
Are
shorter
they
than
longer
like
now?
I think they are
Because he's on the Spotify.
yeah, like they
exclusively?
used to be. I remember they used to be like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
2-ish. Now I think 45 is like the minimum.
I was gonna say I remember Kevin Smith being one of his longer ones.
Wow, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. See, for me, that's too long.
yeah, it's a day. You're basically losing a day, right?
Well,
to a
yeah. Well, or
podcast.
I would just, be one of those people, and it's one of those jokes I have with people in my family. I'll just go and listen to it, 1.5, or
Speed,
150%, speed, just that sort of fun.
Yeah, no, I find that kind of like what AJ's saying, I'll put them on and I'll go do something. So
Yeah,
it's,
that's fair.
You know what I mean? I'm listening to it and paying attention to it. A lot of what I like to listen to, a lot of his guests, but kind of to AJ's point, I love comedy. So if he has comedians on, I'm almost guaranteed to listen and
Yeah.
watch it. But also, shout out to Team Coco and Conan Needs a Friend.
Oh yeah,
That is
I'll listen to that.
fucking amazing. Like Conan O'Brien is the best. Like I don't think he's done any wrong in my eyes ever. But his podcast,
He's
tall
way
and
too tall.
Irish.
he is
Yeah,
tall
I
and
would say
Irish.
he's way too
Exactly.
tall.
That's the
Hey,
problem.
he's way too tall. His hair's way too red, and that skin is way too pale for sure. And that voice. But anyways, just everything that him, Gorley, and Sona do are just magic. Just magic.
I've cut clips of. I don't think I've ever listened to a whole Conan Needs a Friend, but
Yeah.
I've seen the clips on the YouTubes,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Hmm.
they're entertaining.
So good. So good. Yeah. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee's podcast is pretty funny.
Yeah, the Tiger Belly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he always has some interesting.
That guy's a psycho. I love
Oh
it.
yeah,
I love it. He's such a crazy
psycho in the
guy.
best way.
Yeah, he's a lovable psycho.
Yeah,
Not Norman Bates.
I've heard
psycho,
that description before.
for sure. Yeah, well, yeah. Might
but
fit
yeah,
it.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't be able to listen to the ones that my wife listens to, like stories about things.
Well, it's
true
just
crimes.
that long story. Yeah, it's more
well,
the
not even true crimes,
serial.
paranormal.
Paranormal, yeah.
Yeah, it's more the serial. The idea that you have to listen to the 1 and then the 2 and then the 3.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
That I
no.
can't do. I don't mind stories when they're in that like podcast, single episode, or they're short. Those I'm cool with. But when it's a story
But then what
yeah.
you're talking about is an audiobook, though.
For which one? Sorry.
Well, when you listen to a series of
Yeah, but you can get podcasts
There
where
are
they'll do like
podcasts.
4 or 5 different
Yeah.
episodes, or they've broken it up into those. Or
We just
whatever.
listened to one that
Yeah, we
had
did.
2 parts.
2 parts.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we'll get to that one
Yeah,
soon.
For sure.
we'll talk about that.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So Yeah.
Are there any that you sort of over time fallen out of love with? And again, not that they've gone bad, just that
Yeah.
you're not with them.
one, I might start listening again, but I used to listen to it all the time. Like I don't think I would miss an episode.
Mhm.
And he had like 2 or 3 a week, and I was almost 2 years solid listening to every one. It was Talk is Jericho, which I know sounds weird. He's a wrestler, whatever.
With
I know
Chris,
whom he
Chris
is,
Jericho, the wrestler.
Yeah.
yeah.
But what I liked about his podcast was, sure, they'd have wrestling stuff, and that's all fine and good. And he'd get into like some of the nitty gritty stuff. And if you're a wrestling fan, that's awesome. But then he would do some really cool things. Like he's into paranormal shit and stuff. So he'd have like paranormal guests and whatever.
Mhm.
And he's into horror stuff. So he'd have horror movies on. But then he's such a music aficionado that he would break down certain albums and certain whatever. He'd bring musical guests on, be like, okay, let's talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And that was where I was very intrigued. I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And to learn from his insight on that stuff was really, really awesome. But for whatever reason, I'm just not.
He might have been recently on the Howie Mandel one, I think.
I think he was. I think I might have watched that one too.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see. But I don't know. I just haven't really listened to his podcast recently. My all-time favorite one, and I oh my God, I can't believe I haven't listened to it in a while. Now we're bringing it up, is The Ongoing History of New Music, which with Alan Cross.
I just hear it on the radio on
I was
Sunday.
going to say, originally I remember that being on the radio.
Yeah, well, it's now in podcast form.
Okay.
Without all the stuff in between.
No music.
Yeah, no music and no ads. Well, other than what they do. But that one, I mean, I attribute Alan Cross to a good 60 to 70% of my musical knowledge.
I used to love listening to that on the radio.
He's
it's
the best.
still on.
He's the best. And the fact, it's cool because we've had a chance to talk to him and hang out with him a little bit. Do you remember that? You remember that? Honest
Not
Player?
at all.
Really? Oh my gosh. Anyways, really cool guy.
Oh wait, I have we didn't hang out per se.
Well, he wasn't drinking with us, but we were chatting him up and stuff. I mean, that's grounds for hanging out.
You said hi to him and said,
I mean,
I like your radio show.
would
And
you-
that was about it.
We hung out with Jay Muse, right? Right? Would you not say we hung out with Jason Muse?
No.
For a whole 5 minutes?
For a whole 5.5 minutes.
I don't even know if we hit that amount with him.
I did. I was on stage.
That's true. That's true. You
I hung out with
him,
Kevin Smith.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Jason Mewes.
You
That's true.
no. You did hang out. You performed.
I performed. I was directed
exactly.
by Kevin Smith.
That's just it. You didn't hang
true.
out. You were actually part of
You
their
were in a Kevin
group.
Smith production.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so I would say those two I've fallen off the bandwagon on. But I'm sure I'll probably listen to one day again.
Yeah, like for me, it's things like Freakonomics. It was one I used to love listening to. And again, it's fallen out a bit for me. Just the style changed a bit. Not a knock against it. Just not what I fell in love with.
Stop making your dog fat.
Yeah. And then there was TED Radio Hour. That one's kind of changed on me a bit.
It's all TED Talks?
Basically, yeah, they would take a TED Talk and they would summarize, bring the speaker on, do it more of a deeper review in certain areas.
Okay.
So it's a great podcast, and even still good. It's just something doesn't click for me the same way. I have no good reason.
You might have aged out of it or something. Who knows?
For me,
I don't know.
it's the Joe Rogan podcast.
Hmm.
I used to listen to it and watch it more often, and now I don't know.
Well, it's like
There's something about it.
Heavyweight.
You got to, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
For me, it's heavyweight. Like I love the speaker on that one. What's his name? Jonathan Goldstein. And I loved him. Like it was one of those great, made me happy, smile. I loved him even all the way back on the CBC back in those days.
Yeah.
But he went all. I can't remember which platform, but he's only on one platform now, and that's not the one I listen to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to switch.
Everyone's diversifying their podcast now. So guys,
we would never do that, of course.
No, we can't afford to do that.
No. Like the
But if
podcast
Spotify
providers
wants to buy us for $4 billion.
I mean,
cool.
yeah.
I'll think about it for $4 billion.
Listen, as long as we can cut it up and stick segments into other areas, I'm down. I'm down to. I'll jump.
I don't
Like
actually
an
mind
orange.
Pardon?
Like an orange.
Yeah.
No, I actually don't mind that. And I don't know how well it's actually working. That'd be a good thing to question, or in the positive way, because a lot of podcasts you hear that you can listen for free, and you get a good podcast. But if you want something extended, more anything else, or extra stories, you can subscribe,
Right.
and kick in and all those things. I wonder how well that works.
I think it works very well for a lot of people out there.
Well, you already have to be popular, yeah. Like,
Yeah, to have
if we
some sort of
started to do that,
establishment.
actually, we should do that. If
We
somebody
probably
gives
should.
us $500, we'll happily share unaired podcast with you.
Oh, as long as they don't share it with anybody else.
Well,
What?
yeah.
No. You're missing the point.
Oh, okay.
All we need to do is once we get $500, just
We
start
just record
talking
a
about how an
podcast.
idiot gave us $500 and send it to him or her. I shouldn't genderify it. Them.
For sure.
They.
They. That's a good point. Yeah.
We.
Because we're not lying to what we offer. We said
That's
we're going to
true.
send them something that nobody else has ever heard, and all we needed was a $500 donation,
We
please.
can
Or
connect
givens.
it to an NFT. That's how that works, right? An NFT.
Yeah.
and then
No.
That's what we do.
We
Okay.
just want a cash.
Non-fungible token.
No, none of those funny things.
All right.
Well, no, they still pay you money for it.
No.
He's just he's like.
Have we not fought about that one yet?
No, we haven't. I don't. You know what? I don't even think we've talked about it other than jokes.
Oh,
Honestly,
that's one where shit. What's the religion you guys like to go and yammer about?
Oh, that's Scientology.
It's my Scientology.
I love it.
In the sense of how much I dislike this concept and idea. It's just anyway, whole other discussion.
Speaking of podcasts,
The Leah Rapinelli one?
yes,
That's a good one.
So good.
Leah Remini and what's his
Mike
face?
Render. Yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to that one a few times.
Oh my gosh.
Scientology. Is it Scientology in the Aftermath?
I think
that's the show.
That's the show. I can't remember her podcast.
I used to listen to it all the time.
There, I because AJ and now are so steeped in all the Scientology shit.
They're the experts.
I've got like 4 or 5 different channels that I'm following now that I watch on a regular basis. That gives me like all the inside scoop of Scientology. I know, it's so weird.
I'm just waiting for the day you go to jokingly go and talk to a Scientologist or something and you know more than they do. And I don't even mean more in the sense of how, like a negative. You just know actually a lot more about how it should be done.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. But once they see my bank account, they were like, nope. Nope, you're not allowed in here.
Another good one's Two Bears, One Cave.
Oh, that one's fantastic.
With Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, that's fun.
Did you listen to the one where it was Bert's birthday and Tom got him Hitler's teacup?
Yes, I did see that. That was great. That was really great.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
Wait, see, you keep saying C. So do you ever listen?
Yeah. I listen.
Okay.
Well,
because I have to admit,
ones,
I never watch podcasts.
I'll watch them if there is a video component to it and I'm at home. If I'm not, then I'll just, whatever. I'll just take off. But no.
I'm a pass. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just meh. If I'm going to sit down and watch something, I'm going to sit down and watch a telly show or something.
Yeah, sure.
It's called Fair Game. Is the Leah Remini.
Fair Game. Okay.
Scientology.
Okay.
Podcast. I'm surprised they don't have any podcasts about Scientology, like Scientologists. Do you think they have their own, like, Scientology podcast?
I was just going to say, that's probably what they have. They have, like, an intranet of Scientology podcasts.
Spotify podcast kind of thing.
They're probably added to the curriculums. Like, oh, wait a minute. You're trying to get
to OT9, you gotta. So we've changed the curriculum by having to listen to the podcast. So you have to go back down.
That's right.
And pay another $50,000 to get back up.
This is why we love Scientology. It's fucking crazy shit like that. Like, that stuff is happening.
I know you love it.
It's crazy.
We're gonna learn Dave all about Scientology one day.
Oh my gosh.
All we can find out.
Yeah.
It's
all they'll let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, another one I do recommend, Snap Judgment. I highly recommend that.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've read it.
I like it because it's a good mix of kind of music, talking, stories. Like, it's just a nice little, I don't know. I've always just enjoyed it. It's very laid back. It's not that I fall out of love or anything. I haven't listened to a lot of it recently, but it's one that I still catch in every so often. I'm like, oh yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
I've just started listening to this, Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. Heard of it?
It sounds fun.
It's very cool. It's basically they take, a topic or something, and then they
fire burns.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't. I've heard
it does burn, and then they basically throw a lot of skeptical, insightful knowledge towards it, and to kind of break it apart. And it's really fun. Yeah, it's a good podcast.
Now, do they do it in the sense of just sharing, or is it just that they go and attack that thing?
No, it's about sharing.
You know what I mean? Okay.
It's It's informational based.
I've never minded people breaking apart something in which that they're just saying, here's the problems, here's my perspectives. And I mean, they're saying it in the proper way, not the freaking YouTube, well, this is what I've heard, and then this is their perspective that I'm going to repeat to you.
That's like the hot dog is a sandwich. I just came across one episode, and it's something to think about. Is a meatloaf just a really long meatball?
Yes, it is. Yes, not even a question.
So you're taking that idea and
then you're
deconstructing the idea while you're talking about it, right?
It's clever.
Yeah.
Is good. Cereal just cold soup?
No.
That one I say no.
That's silly.
What?
Because I would never want my...
What defines soup? Define soup.
No. The reason why I say no, I expect my cereal, even in milk, to be crunchy. If it's not crunchy, I don't consume.
Yeah.
Nothing about temperature even. Whereas with soup, I expect to be eating it warm, no crunchy.
Could you imagine?
I expect soft.
You don't want crunchy in your soup?
I was going to say, could you imagine
Generally not.
getting a soup, be like, This soup is crunchy. Yum.
Now I really want to go to a
sometimes if it's a-
restaurant
if
and
it's a
send it
fresh-
back for being crunchy.
Sometimes if it's a fresh enough soup, the carrots could still be a little crunchy.
No, that hasn't been cooked properly. It's a soup.
Yes, it's food in liquid.
No. It's a soup. It's not supposed. The only sorry, there is one exception. I almost forgot. Salted saltines.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
You heard me
okay,
right, by
yeah,
the way.
that's
Salted
true.
saltines that I put in,
Well, that's
okay.
crunchy.
but I've added the crunchy.
That's
the
okay.
soup on its own should not be crunchy.
I feel like this is a podcast topic right here. Yeah. Do a whole episode on this
You could
called Crunchy Soup.
crunchy soup,
Love it.
crunch soup.
One I want to give a shout out to our friend who's been on the podcast, Malcolm Donaldson. He did a really fun one. It's called Minimal Stars Podcast. Highly recommend it. Very short. I think the longest episode's 5 minutes long, maybe a little longer. But the whole idea was he would go and find like 1-star reviews
Yeah.
and then do dramatic readings of those reviews.
Oh,
For
gotcha.
products and things like that. And I
That's
was like,
funny.
it is actually quite amusing, quite funny. And if you need like little short bursts of
Yeah, because there already is the podcast that does something similar for the full movie or whatever, right? I used to love them.
which ones?
I'm trying to remember what they're called now.
It's crazy how many podcasts.
How
there
did
are
this
now.
get made?
Oh yes.
I used to you go back 3 years, some amount of time. I don't know the exact amount. I loved it because it was so unique, new, and yeah, they'd walk around the audience and they would, ask about stupid quotes. It was great.
Yeah,
and you had to
it's
come
really
with a quote from the movie. At some point, it just
Lost
didn't
you.
have the same vibe, doesn't have the same feel. No, I haven't listened to it in over a year, so maybe I just got caught in a few bad episodes or something. But
Yeah, I haven't listened to it in a real long time.
oh god,
There's
yeah.
ones that I miss listening to, like that Zach to the Future one. I used
yeah,
to,
me too. Shitty that it got
stopped,
canceled.
They stopped doing that. Yeah. How does it get canceled? How, how does something like that get canceled?
Well, I think they probably felt burnt because they didn't make their second season or the third season?
Third season.
Third season.
Saved by the
And
Bell,
yeah,
the new
and
one.
both of them were so heavily involved in the creation of it.
But that's not
Right.
even what it was about. It was
I
about
know,
the old
I
episodes.
know, but maybe they just
and
felt
the fact
tainted.
that Mark Paul didn't watch the episode.
Yeah, I know. The real
I've
shitty
never
part
seen
is
them.
the fact that they never gave an explanation as to why.
They just stopped making
It
them.
just they
They
just
just stopped.
stopped. There was like a bunch of like, we might be going hiatus, folks, and then it was done.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Well,
like,
they
oh.
gave a reason then.
They didn't though, because in those conversations you could see they were squabbling at the fact, not with each other, but just with the production, that they knew they were losing it.
Well,
So,
and it's one of those things where if they were receiving compensation for a podcast, anything that they're doing, if they're receiving compensation and the one that's compensating them is not making
They
money,
were being sponsored.
yeah, they were
but
sponsored.
that's what I mean, though. Again, the numbers still have to line up.
That's true.
right.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I mean,
Yeah. Like
I
for
don't-
us, we're only doing this as long as A, we have a location equipment,
Sure.
and B,
we got
we
time.
want to.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Well, the day where I win the lottery, I may not be able to attend in person any longer.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be from a far off location.
I am.
Oh,
It's
you
just
do
going
it
to be in a
local.
higher end studio.
That's right. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I will show up just because I'd want to see that. It's,
For
what does
sure.
this look like? Let's feel like we know what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. I know if
And then we can start to rent it out.
yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Because we won the lottery, so we may as well make more money by renting out
Right?
the studio.
'Cause that makes sense.
Makes so
No,
much
no, no.
sense.
Because that's logical.
But we'd only take 40% of their profits.
It's always about the 40% for Dave.
Yeah.
He's always about the 40%.
Yeah, I'm a fair man. You get 60, I get 40.
That's
what?
fair. Yeah. He knows his worth. He knows what he's bringing to the table. I love it.
if you were a mobster, your name would be 40% Dave.
Well, no,
That's
because
funny.
I'm like 140% Dave.
No, you'd
That's
be
where I get
40%
That's fun.
Just like Mickey Two Fingers.
Mickey Two Fingers.
40% Dave.
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of Jordan Peterson, which we weren't speaking of right recently, I did watch a recent episode that, I mean, he deals with heavy topics anyways. Here's a juxtaposed viewpoint. One I watched where he had like a psychedelics expert on. It was a very fascinating conversation between the two of them, because he's not a guy he's a psychologist. He's not going to probably do that stuff. And it was very enlightening. It gave me a lot of insight on psychedelics that I didn't have before, which is saying a lot. And it was really cool. But then the episode I watched recently, it was all about, he had an interview with a miner who's no longer a minor, that transitioned into was a woman, then turned into a man, and talking about the heaviness of that, right? And if there were mistakes, stuff like that. And I was like, holy shit! Like, I don't know how you watch this without like feeling that weight of somebody talking about such heavy topics. So it's very, if you really want dense information, I'd say check out his podcast.
Cool.
Very interesting
No.
stuff.
I have to admit, yeah, I'm nope.
No desire.
And again, it's one of those classic jokes or something, at least something I always heard, once, because when I was younger, I wanted everything. I had decision. I had to make my point known. Nowadays, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting
sure.
yourself, float your boat, dude.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
doodad.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to fucking be called.
For sure. Yeah.
Now, if I witness somebody being hurt, getting hurt, misbehaving, I will call them out on those aspects. Like if you are actively hurting somebody, stop.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree, you walk away. Fuck it. Right? Unless they're hurting somebody. Then, of course, somebody's like, well, Dave, what's consistent to hurt? What if they're just making fun of somebody? Am I allowed to hurt them physically? Well, no, you're not allowed to do it then. Like, it gets complicated. So
Sure. There's a podcast actively hurting people. Something.
I don't know how that's a podcast
I don't know
we'd
either.
want to
That's
record.
a crime.
Yeah.
What? Is that a crime? Okay. Ridiculous.
Not a podcast. It's a felony.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we were going with this one.
I don't know.
I would just like to
literally
make
on
sure
the top
very
of my head.
clear. I do not want to actively hurt anybody.
Well, he said that on recording. That wasn't what he was saying before we started
No.
recording.
Well, no, that's
And,
beside the
that's
point.
true.
And you enjoy the way I hurt you. So,
Well, that's true. Then it's not hurting. It's just
well, it's hurting physically,
natural.
but you enjoy it mentally.
it's true. The mental stimulation. Anyways,
All right, moving on.
What
All
podcast?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, woo.
what else are we listening to?
Distracted. I've checked out Mike Tyson's podcast.
Hell yeah, hot boxing.
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I really like it.
I think that is something I need to do more. Check out other podcasts. I have to admit, and again, as much as I was joking about before how I'm old and blah, 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 I can't think of the last time I actually took on a new podcast.
You know who you should check
Oh,
out?
man.
Steve-O.
Yeah,
Steve-O's
Steve-O's Wild
podcasts
Ride.
are
Yeah.
great.
All right.
I have gained much respect
Mm-hmm.
for Steve-O as a person,
Oh, nice.
having listened to that podcast.
All right.
Yeah, not just him, but just the guests he's had on too. He's just very good about drawing out relevant information from his
Yeah.
guests. And it's very
Steve-O is?
Yeah.
Fucking
Dude.
A.
Honestly,
Steve-O's actually a pretty good dude.
yeah, for sure. Him
Yeah.
and the
Well,
one
I've
with
never thought
him
of him as
and
a bad dude, just always Steve-O.
Yeah, I know. the one with Kevin Smith, I'm obviously going to go back to that often, was so emotional to hear them talk. It was,
The one with Jay Muse was really good too.
Also very good.
They talked about addiction
Yeah.
and stuff.
but
All
They
right, I'll have to
addressed
check this one out. All
they
right.
addressed the Bam Margera issue with Jackass.
It is a
and
new
stuff.
year. I
Yeah.
should do something new.
You should.
The Tommy Lee episode is pretty cool.
It's really cool. Speaking of, I also felt the same. I've always been a Mike Tyson fan, but I'm like way more of a fan because of the podcast. Because I don't know, I just got a lot of respect for that guy. Probably because he could knock me the fuck out. But
Yeah.
besides the
I'm going to
point,
say in person, I would do nothing but smile and say, "You're amazing."
Exactly.
Fear, respect.
Exactly.
Fine line.
but the fact that he knows who he is and who he was and whatever, and he has to wrestle with that every day.
Hmm.
It's interesting. It's
Well,
really
he
interesting.
boxes with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
Well, WWE.
did you know you'd like this? You like your edibles. So, you do.
Yeah, why don't you just call him out?
You
Why don't
do.
you?
Yeah, I'm the one calling him out. He's sitting here talking about mushroom chocolate bars, and I'm calling him out.
I heard about them on the radio.
You're out there somewhere.
I heard about ordering them on the radio because I ordered them.
Anyway, continue.
Because that's where we're doing radio orders now. Go on.
So you know how he had to fight? He had to fight with Evander Holyfield, and he bit the ear.
Yep.
Him and Evander Holyfield have put out a weed gummy that's an ear shape, and it's got a bite mark
See,
out of it.
there you go. There's
Really?
Yeah.
That's
capitalizing
good
on
both
the
of them.
market, I tell you.
Oh, well,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
the capitalization plus again, like every normal. Well, I shouldn't say normal, but for me, I'll call it me specifically. I hear those two guys who probably had a shit have decided handshake. Let's make a buck or two.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one of those fucking A.
I heard his weed will knock you out. That's. Okay, I'm done.
I don't
Oh,
get it.
I get it. I
I
get
don't
it.
get it.
I got it. I
Okay,
got it.
all right.
Yeah. If you have too much weed, you might, fall over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Okay.
He fell over a lot apparently as a boxer.
Is
What
he a
Chris is
boxer or
saying, he was
something?
not very good.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah, that's right.
Iron Mike Tyson.
Iron. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd try it.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Have I tried it? No, I don't think I have, but I want to try it one day. Yeah. Well, even when he did that exhibition bout, exhibition bout, what, like,
talk
2 years ago, Mike Tyson did that exhibition
Dude,
and
be safe.
I don't want
He lost.
I don't want him to knock me out. I know, but he was like, holy shit! He's in his 50s now, right?
Oh
60,
yeah,
60s.
Yeah.
The way he moved, I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he could kick the three of our asses. Us.
Oh,
versus
yeah.
him.
All together.
Yeah.
Yes, guaranteed. Not even a question. Yeah. Yeah. Very massive respect for him.
Yeah, I saw him talking about how he didn't really care about the money anymore.
Right. Well, why?
He was just more. He was more interested in bringing the sport of boxing back to what it was, kind of its former glory,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah. Since before UFC came in and stole everything.
I have to admit, it's been a long time since I've watched just normal boxing.
I got into it. I got into Muhammad Ali there for a bit, even before the movie came out and everything. I was interested in.
Yeah, I love boxing.
Yeah, George Foreman, the old greats.
Yeah,
I watched the Logan Paul fight recently, or whatever. One of the Paul brothers. I don't know who his name.
Rocky is still
Jake
one of my
Paul.
favorite fights.
Jake's the boxer.
Jake's the boxer. Logan's the wrestler.
WWE.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, I've watched a bunch of fights. Boxing's great. Boxing's fun. And
Boxing's great.
Yeah.
They need to make a podcast that describes the boxing matches.
That
I don't
would be
know.
good.
I'm not aware of one actually.
I don't think there is one.
It's called commentary.
Good playback.
Yeah. How many UFC ones do they have like that? Right.
It's called boxing commentary. ESPN.
I can't afford ESPN or any of those channels.
No.
ESPN?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll pass.
Do we want to talk about any other ones before? Oh, you know what? Let's do this because we mentioned a bunch of times the whole Smodcast network, for fuck's sakes. Like everything, Hollywood Babylon.
Oh yeah.
You know,
how Kevin Smith is like
Jay and Silent
a
Bob
podcast whore.
He is a podcast whore. But like, I kind of think podcasts saved him in a way.
Yeah.
You know, they allowed him to kind of figure out Tusk when, you know, he wasn't doing a whole lot. And then that, turned into Yoga Hosers or whatever. But then, Clerks 2, was that before that? Or after that? I think it was after that, right?
I honestly do not know.
Was way before that.
Way before that. Yeah, right. Red State. Then, anyways, all I'm trying to say is he was in a weird kind of holding pattern there for a while. And then the podcast seemed to give him life to be able to, you know, put together what he put together. So I love what he's doing. Yeah. I'll take that as an acknowledgement of improvement. So yeah, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes can do no wrong.
No.
They make fun entertainment.
Yes, I'm entertained by them.
Indeed.
All the times. I was on with their podcast.
You sure were. You're on Jay and Silent Bob Get Old.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was directed by Kevin Smith.
With very
this
little.
has to be the new thing. Every podcast episode he has to bring up somehow. He's the famous one of us
and
three.
Although it's unfortunate, Kevin Smith is not a sponsor, but you know, if
he
like
wants
to
sponsor it, he can send some of his marijuana.
I would rather actually just have it be he come and join us and do the podcast with us, and he can save his $1 or $2.
No, I take his $1 or $2. I'll take that. I wouldn't say no.
No.
I'll take his weed. Yeah.
Well, we can have like a together where he's going to bring the product and we'll provide the establishment in the microphone.
Let's be honest. If we had Kevin Smith in our home base, did you think we're letting him leave? Do you think
don't let him know that, you dumbass?
Okay, sorry.
That was the secret plan.
There'd be ratchet straps involved.
Everything. We'd have like some sort of technological device that as soon as he entered, his phone would no longer work.
Yeah.
Well, we would take the phone away.
We'd have a phone jammer.
Actually, that is possible. That is true.
So yeah. Kevin Smith, come on a podcast.
Yeah, we won't do any of the things we just said.
I know.
You realize you're going to have to take your dog out for a serious poop.
Okay.
When you get home.
All right.
That's lots of treats.
Yeah.
So I need to poop.
Our listeners want to understand. I am monitoring my dog on a pet cam as we're recording the podcast.
Well, let's be clear on this. You're not monitoring your dog. You're creepily, constantly watching as we attempt
that
to
is
have
happening.
a conversation.
That is happening. Yes, I am. Yes, because I live in a building and he's got separation anxiety and he likes to howl and bark. My neighbors hate that. So I'm doing my best to avoid that while train him.
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on.
I know. I'm not saying you're doing the wrong thing, but we have to make fun of you while
All
you're
right.
doing this.
Okay. Make fun all you like.
True.
No, I have to admit, the one thing I've always loved about Chris, the tone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 It's there.
We went over the line.
It's because I want to talk about podcasts, not my fucking dog. That's why.
Oh,
I don't want to
okay.
be part of
Ouch.
this.
We thought you, okay, we won't bring up your puppy again.
When I'm talking about topics, I want to be distracted by those topics. I don't want to be talking about,
What's this podcast called?
Yeah, exactly.
The
right?
piss off Chris moment.
Piss off, Chris. Let's get him real mad. We're going. Let's do it. Rouse him.
Okay.
I was
Jackson
going
will have
for
to.
the whole distractions aspect
Jackson
of
will
it. But
have
yeah,
to take
that too.
Jackson will have to take a shit when we get home.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's fine. That's
Big
fine.
poop.
Yeah. But what you can't see is I see him howling. So I see him doing what I don't want him to do. So
Gotcha.
hence, since I'm not there to
You know
stop
what you
him,
should do? I have a great idea.
Oh, no.
Your neighbors are gonna love this. You get a microphone and you hook it up to one of those things that makes him sound like T.I.
Okay.
So then every time he howls or barks, it does the like T.I. thing, and then it's just more entertaining, and then people won't dislike it.
I think that sounds way better on paper than it does in actual practice. I think that's going to be a bad
Could you
idea,
imagine
AJ.
if T.I. had a podcast and that's all it was?
Oh my
was that
God.
vocoder.
You know what? That should be a podcast. That's all it is people fucking talking.
People talking into the T.I. machine.
Yeah. Yeah, anyways. Well, let's get into Latent Legends, shall we?
Sure.
Let's talk about them. So we listened to two of their two. They asked us to listen to their Christmas episodes of last year, I believe. Right? Yes.
I guess.
Episodes 44
No, I think
and
it was
45.
like 2020 or 2021. I thought.
Okay, my
Well,
apologies.
that,
Yeah, that's
that
right,
would have been last
21.
year.
Yeah.
No, 2021 is not last year.
Technically, you're right. It's
What do you mean
Numerically,
technically?
numerically, you're correct.
A year and fucking 5 days, whatever days ago it was. Okay. Okay.
We're trying to talk about
God,
the
it's
podcast. Settle down
semantics.
over here.
Oh, is that what we're all trying to do? Is try to get at each other? See if we can.
No, we're just trying to piss you off.
Okay. All right. As long as we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we all take turns.
So, Late Legends, they sent us over a couple of episodes they wanted to review. Shout out to them, by the way. They asked us a long time ago, and we didn't get back to them.
Mr.
until recently.
Josh Hatherley and friends.
Yeah, yeah. And basically, quick premise. They were four buds who were in a metal band together, and apparently their music was pretty all right. Had to kind of move away. They decided to keep their friendship going strong by playing a long Dungeons and Dragons campaign abroad and do it all and put it on a podcast. That's pretty much what they've been doing.
And I'm just going to start right away with the I didn't read any of the introduction. I didn't look him up online. Didn't do any of those things.
Oh.
Just started the podcast.
Okay.
And yeah, it took me about 5 minutes to realize, oh shit, they're playing a fucking D&D game. So it's one of those funnyisms where I actually started laughing at myself like, oh fuck, I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And I thought they were just going to make up a story or something.
Right.
Which in some ways you could argue they are.
I mean,
ish.
essentially that's what
But-
D&D is.
It
Really.
was just one of those. I will admit. I think it wasn't until maybe one of the dice came out or something that I realized what was actually happening.
I as soon as you heard Nat 20, you should have known exactly what they were
well,
talking about.
yeah,
Dave.
yeah, I know. It's just
For
yeah.
sure. And for what it's worth, before we get into this, I would say if you're a fan of camaraderie or a fan of D&D, this would be a podcast for you, I would say.
If you enjoy
Oh.
listening to somebody play D&D,
Yes, sure. Yes.
And
That was my problem.
unfortunately, I know Josh. I know his buddies and stuff. Great guys, talented people. But I can't say that it was for me.
Yeah.
I could only get about 20 minutes into it, and I was like, "Why am I this
Yep.
isn't." I like playing D&D.
Yes.
I like D&D.
Yep.
Could watch somebody play D&D,
No.
but I can't listen to it.
Yeah. I
Okay.
couldn't.
Even though the production on it, like technically it's a great podcast.
Yeah. No.
Like, the
indeed.
production's great. The fact that they had
The
like
background
background
sounds,
noises and
that
stuff
was
like that,
great.
it was
Things,
cool.
yeah.
That was very
It does-
cool.
If you're into it,
Oh, if it's your thing, do it.
but I feel like part of the issue is, I think what we were kind of talking about earlier. To get into it, you have to listen to it from point one.
Yeah.
right?
Sure,
And
yeah.
they're on, that was episode 44 and 45 or
Right.
something.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I
So-
was introduced to Critical Role, which is another podcast.
See, I've watched
Mhm.
Critical Role on YouTube, and I can, even then, I can put up with it longer, but yeah, there's still, for me, Dungeons and Dragons is a doing, not sitting on the outside,
Yeah, it's
hearing
just-
or viewing.
For me personally, I agree. Like
Yeah.
it was just nothing was wrong. Like again, the quality, the sound effects, the
Yeah.
music, like fucking A +1.
Like, it's a good podcast. It's just not
my style.
Not for me.
Yeah,
my
not for me.
bag.
Yeah.
And like we, just sussed out, none of that kind of podcast is my bag
Right.
either, right? So
Yeah. He set up his pre-defense quite well.
no further questions.
Yeah.
Your Honor.
All right.
But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Good podcast, not for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, greatly made, good story, good chat, camaraderie, all the good things. Just yeah. Well, here I'll let you give your feedback.
Oh,
I was about
thanks.
to call out
Appreciate
the
that.
one thing that they really need to fix, but
Yeah.
you do you first.
I'm going to take the opposite road. I really enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed the story they were telling. I love that they were not aware of that story. And I realized, because I haven't played D&D in some time, I realized how much of an adventure it is for the players as it is for the DM.
No,
Which I thought, you know what?
that was funny.
That
All
was
right.
great. And, because I haven't played D&D in so long, it brought a lot of nostalgic vibes to me. And I was like, oh,
agree.
yeah, this is pretty fun. And I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about in their story. But, having the understanding of that world allowed me to kind of sit in on what they were doing and gain appreciation for all the things they were trying to do as they were doing it.
Nikki enjoys it very much.
Yeah. So,
she's listened to it from episode 1.
yeah.
Oh, nice, good. Yeah.
So I don't know how often I'll listen to them, but if it comes up on my thing, I'll happily give it one.
You'd pop it on.
It was fun. It was really cool to hear them. I know that they do a Twitch stream too, which is also awesome. But
see
to
that
see a
I'd
visual,
probably be able to watch maybe I could probably sit there for an hour and watch
I mean,
like that.
inevitably you're gonna get to the point. It's like, okay, when do I get to play? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's gonna happen.
yeah, and
Right?
that that happens with and it's weird because I'll watch people fucking play video games,
Mhm.
which is, but it's watching.
Yeah.
So and that's what I was kind of thinking about it when I was listening to it too. I'm like, I wouldn't listen to somebody play Super Mario Brothers,
but you would watch.
but I would watch. Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
but one thing again, you called it already. One thing I do give them credit on also, they also, to my mind, they played like good friends. Like the
Yeah.
one guy who kept wanting to go tip something. And
Yeah.
the DM dude's just like, okay, yeah, you tipped him. Nothing happens.
Yeah, they clearly live by the honor system, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not,
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's one of the things that I have to admit. So if we ever did our D&D thing, I
let's do
don't
it.
know, maybe I'm old school or something, or maybe it was just we did it wrong or differently. The DM rolls the dice. The players never roll dice, in my mind. The players make decisions.
No, players
roll the dice.
No. This is the way I always did it, because in that way you always had that perspective or that ability where if you needed to fuzz the numbers because somebody kept rolling a 1
Sure.
over and over again, you didn't want them to have the super like they die right away, things like that.
No, anytime I've ever played, DMs roll the dice for monsters
And then
and
NPCs.
events
Yeah.
and NPCs, and then the players roll their own.
That's
You know what? Maybe that's what I'm more
think
thinking of
so, yeah.
actually. Fuck.
I think so.
Now that you describe it that way, oh yeah, that does.
Yeah,
I don't know.
'cause,
It's
like,
just,
Don't you remember all the cool kids have their own dice?
you know,
DM
maybe
plays
it was
the dragon.
Maybe it was because they were remote. Because I kept thinking
Maybe.
like doing remote. Like if we ever did that remote, yeah, I rolled a 20 and another 20 and another 20.
Well, see,
oh, not 20s all the way
I would
through.
make it
oh.
so that everybody would have to have another camera facing down or something on the,
Or make it maybe
where
a
they're
digital
rolling their
die or
dice.
something.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I might be lying because my memory, I'm like, I always rolled the dice, but you're right. Maybe I was always rolling the dice for the bad guys.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, you roll for the dragons and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the player truly rolls a 19 and my dragon rolls a 20. What?
What? Yeah. Yeah. So that was fun. They clearly are good buds. They clearly love it. And it was fun to just be a part of that world for a couple hours, listen to their episodes. And it was just, brought me back to when, we
Nice.
just play RPGs.
I
all the
will
time.
admit, it made me a slightly bit nostalgic in that sense because it reminded me of, the good old days where we
Yeah.
do that, the vampire, all the
Oh,
good
yeah.
times.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I don't think,
Yeah.
The one thing I do give them a bit of credit, because I even looked at their schedule and stuff, it's not like they release every week or anything.
No.
I
I
think
think
it's I think this year or last year, whatever year we were listening, they only done maybe 8 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've. I was
might be
also
more.
just like you guys, was very impressed with their high production values. I was not expecting that.
Oh,
And,
yeah. It sounded amazing.
really, really great.
Yep.
Super clear. And if it is remote, you couldn't tell. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
And on top of that, all the sound effects, all the little music buzzies and stuff like that, and them fucking around with changing their voices and stuff. It was fun.
Oh yeah, it puts you into the world. And
Yes.
it doesn't. It's not like, 4 boring dudes or 5 boring dudes sitting there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and
I'm gonna.
I do have a
roll the
question for them, which is, it's one of those things, because it sound like the essence I almost felt was that the music was actually playing with them together.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something done post-production, but it's one of those things I'd love to know. Is it a post-production?
I would almost assume it's post-production.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, because
Yes, I'm gonna say it is.
Yeah,
I'm
because
pretty
you
sure it is.
they'd have to. You'd have to have someone produce the music as you're playing, or someone's gonna have to do that.
Well, no, the DM preps it.
Yeah,
because the DM already
but how is
knows-
the DM knowing certain things like?
the DM always plays to the game.
True, yeah.
Like, don't be wrong, the players can still do
crowd
things,
stuff,
do everything.
Yeah,
But
that's a great question. Latent Legends, let us know. We want to know. Hopefully, listen to this episode. We want to know. With your music edition, do you do it post production or do you do it during production?
I'm pretty sure it's.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it's
post, too.
during.
I'm pretty
My
sure
vote's
it's
during. I'll be right on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I could message them right now.
No, we'll let
No.
them reach out to us in the comments. Let's do that. We need some comments out there. For sure. But
You
yeah,
made me upset. I'm going to sneeze.
no. But really good stuff. I like what they're doing. We'll just so you know, you'll we'll put a link in our description if you want to go and check them out. If you're into such things, you want to support them and all that good stuff.
If
too.
you're into dragons and/or dungeons,
That's right. That's what they got. That's what they're doing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was
Love
fun. No knock.
I
just
have
not my
one
thing.
critique for them. One critique.
Mm.
So I'm told that they had a metal band, but their music's not represented in their podcast, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
They should maybe do that. They should add that in there some way,
Yeah.
somehow. Incorporate that intro.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
they're
think-
not into metal anymore, though.
Maybe they're not, but maybe they should do something musical. Since they're that's just me.
Yeah. No, you'd have different styles. That'd be like telling me that every episode I should be programming.
You are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Don't
No,
even
I'm
act like you're not. You got a
Mhm.
fucking computer right beside you. You're fucking doing coding and shit.
Oh, yes. Well, that's why I
You're
asked for the
programming
cameras.
all the stuff that Chris is saying right now.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, tell me.
The USB cable's going from there into the tip of his into his head.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, his second head.
Yeah.
Anyways, fair. But either way, I very much like what they did. And if you're into D&D or you did, 4 dudes.
I do say
Talking.
give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would say
Highly
everybody should give it
recommend.
because you might find that it's something that you do enjoy.
Yeah,
and it's
for
a nice
sure.
story that has a little bit of random. Like, it wasn't my cup of tea, but hey, it was still a nice cup of tea.
Indeed.
I have a hard time getting into fantasy stuff in the first place. Like, I'm not big into dragons and dungeons.
Oh, I love to play it. I love to
Um,
read about it, but it's just the style. It wasn't my
Anytime I play
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, I try to make my character as close to Batman as I can. Like attribute wise,
Gotcha.
like gear wise and stuff like
I
that.
really
Yeah.
shouldn't. I really shouldn't laugh because anytime I play, I would always try to get my character to be a human mage, as close to Raceland. As possible. Yeah,
See, I don't even know what you're talking about.
yeah. It's a fantasy series.
I guess
set
so.
of novels.
Yeah,
I think
see.
we talked about it too.
I
Yeah,
have to.
Dragons of
I
Autumn, Twilight.
still have to ground it in something that I'm interested in. I guess something
Mhm.
Hmm.
For you to be able to
that I
relate.
really like.
Yeah.
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 That's fair.
Next
Yeah.
time I'll have to be a Gundam.
Yeah. Now you're into Gundam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's a Gundam podcast.
I'm sure.
I'm sure
They just
there are
talk about-
plenty
All
of
they do is
Gundam
talk about Gundam.
podcasts out there. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Gundam's
But
great.
all they do is they like it's a podcast about dudes talking and they're building the models while they're talking.
Yeah, why not, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
It'd be just like the Dungeons and Dragons one. But
Well,
you can't see it.
You can't see it.
You can't
Exactly,
see
yeah.
it. You don't know what's going on.
We're building Gundam right now, and this one's a very expensive
I'm
one.
building
and,
the leg,
I don't know why our Gundam podcast has that voice, but they do. Oh, yeah, we're sitting here.
Like
and,
Gundam guys,
what is
stuff
this?
like that.
Let's
That's
be
right.
very clear. You would hear on this is the Gundam episode. Click.
Oh crap!
Snip.
Yeah, that's exactly. You
Oh,
hear
so I put it on backwards. Fuck.
For sure, yeah.
Oh man.
All right, well, that's fun. Do we want to talk about Latent Legends or any other podcast stuffs?
I think I covered all mine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I'm in good shape. I got all
I'm
mine.
dry.
Yeah, I think I am as well.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm good.
I think that is going to sort of wrap up my perspective. I do thank for the share because, yeah, that's going to be my goal for this new year. I'm going to try to listen to some new podcasts.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to some that are outside of my comfort zone as well. I'm going to go. and listen to
I wouldn't
them.
say, I don't know if I'll go that far,
What?
but I'll at least listen to
Mhm.
something new.
Have you checked out any knitting podcasts? Are those out there?
Nothing as far as I know for all.
So really,
podcasts.
the one episode we did of you knitting is the only knitting podcast out there.
Probably. Yeah. There's lots of
That would
YouTube
be-
videos.
that
and
would be
shit
like, mhm.
that- yeah.
Mhm. And cast off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
shit.
Oh shit! No,
Yeah.
got it. Mm-hmm. And new yarn.
Next to ASMR. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, I will admit that I watch the YouTube videos often because I need to learn something, refresh
Right.
myself, watch somebody stitch something. But otherwise, yeah, I don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though now I will admit I'm going to go search to see what
That'd be,
it is.
that'd be like listening to an actual cooking podcast.
Yeah, those do exist though.
Do they exist?
Yes,
really?
they do exist.
Because like the hot dog is a sandwich one isn't a cooking podcast.
No.
It's they cook on the interwebs. We know this,
Right.
But it's not. They don't cook in the podcast. There's actual podcasts where
I'm sure there
people-
are out there. Absolutely.
people cook.
Yeah,
This
they
sounds
probably
like a
have
new
video
challenge.
components because but I'm sure there are plenty of.
I mean, I guess it'd be good for a blind person if they're
Yeah,
trying to learn how to cook something.
yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
If you're, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Should we wrap this up?
Maybe.
So that's where we go with this. And you out there, what are your favorite podcasts? Do you like some of our selection? Do you have any of your own? Do you hate podcasts? We want to know. Please let us know your thoughts of the podcast we were talking about today and any of your favorites, and as well as make sure to give a shout out to Latent Legends because they're pretty great. If you like what we're doing out there, we have ourselves a little Buy Me a Coffee link you can click on in our description and throw us a little bit of money to kind of keep the lights on and things like that. And if you're out there and you're not feeling well in the mental department, we just want you to know that you're not alone. Many people out there are not feeling well upstairs. So we want you to know that you matter not just to us, but to those who are around you. And if you want to talk about such things, you can't do that with anybody that's in your direct vicinity. We're going to have some links in our description so you can seek the help that you need. But until next time, I've been Harvey.
I'm to Dave.
My dream podcast would be MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice. Thank you.
Oh,
I would listen to an episode or two.
yeah.
I
What's that,
agree.
Real House 90s? thing?
With frequent guest host Corey Feldman.
Hell yeah. That'd be good. Yep. I'd
That'd
watch
be cool.
that. That was AJ, folks. Just like that, you got yourself sarcastically distracted. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this evening and talking podcasts. Have a wonderful night. Peace.
Take care.
Bye now.